पांडुरंग हरि जय जय पांडुरंग.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to Youth Jam. Thank you so much for joining. It's nice to see you guys here. We have a small group today. Hare Krishna Manhar.
Herbal.
Okay, well, is this your first time joining?
No, I just haven't joined in like a couple months maybe because I've been pretty busy.
Where are you from?
I'm from ISKCON Columbus.
Hare Krishna. Nice to have you here. Hare Krishna Ryan.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Van and Parth.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. All right. I think if this is the group we have today, so we'll get started without any further ado. If you're new here, I guess no one is new here, but the way we'll start Youth Jam is with a prayer. We'd like to start with a prayer so we can get a good setting, good footing on this program. So the way we'll have this is if someone can put a nomination either in the chat or on the microphone, and that gets seconded, we can have a prayer recited for the benefit of everyone in this program. Would anyone like to make a nomination? All right, I'll nominate Manhar. Would you like to make prayer?
Sure. Oh, what's the prayer format?
Yes, I'll send it in the chat. Just a sec. There you go.
Yeah. My dear Shri Shri Radha Natpar, if you so desire, please make this youth jam enlightening for everyone. Thank you for considering my request.
Thank you so much, Manhar. And with that, we'll get started with our Chad, because it's a better way to start with than with Chad. So let me get the slides up and we can read chapter 10, the first half of chapter 10 of the Bhagavad Gita. And let's see, we have a small group, so maybe we can have 5 verses per person if we have everyone participate. Get it up? Okay, I'll start and can recite behind muted mics, and then we can take turns. Does that sound good? All right. Can everyone see the slides?
Yeah.
All right. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Bhuya Eva Mahabaho Shrinu me Paramam Vachaha Yatte Ham Priyamanaya Vakshyami Hitakamyaya Name Vidu Suragana Prabhavam Namaharshaya Aham Adirhi Devanam Maharshinam Cha Sarvashaha Yo Mamajamanadim Cha Veti Loka Maheshwaram Asammudhassa Martyeshu Sarva Papai Pramuchate Buddhirjnanasammoha Kshama Satyam Damashamaha Sukham Dukham Bhavo Bhavo Bhayam Cha Bhayameva Cha Ahimsa Samata Tushtis Tapodanam Yasho Yashaha Bhavanti Bhava Bhutanam Matta Eva Pritag Vidha. All right, go ahead.
Maharshaya sapta purve chatvaro manavastatha madbhava manasa jata yesham loka imaha pracha. एतां विभूतिं योगं च मम यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः सोऽविकल्पेन योगेन युज्यते नात्र समस्यः। अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवो मतः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुद्धभावसमन्विताः। मच्युता मद्गता प्राणा बोधयन्तः परस्परं कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च। तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन माम् उपयान्ति ते।
Ryan, would you like to go? Vivan and Parth, would you like to read?
Yes, Proji, I can read. Tesham eva nuka partham aham agyanajam tama nashyami atmabhavasto jnana deepena bhasvata. Arjuna vacha parama brahma paradharma dhama pavitram paramam bhavan purusham sasvatam divyam adidevam ajavibhum ahustvam rishaya sarve deva shir naradastata ashito devalo vyasa svyayam chaiva bhavishi me sarvam etadritam manye yanmam vedashi keshava nahite bhagavan vyaktim vidur deva na davana no da na dhavanava svyayam evatmana manatmanam veta tvam purushotama bhuta bhavana bhutesha deva deva jagatpate.
Is Parth there? Or just you?
Okay. Vaktim arhasya asena divyahi atam vibhutaya yabir vibhutir lokan imastvav vapaya tishtati Khatam vidyam aham yogimis tvam sada parichintayan keshu cha bhaveshu chintosi bhagavan maya vistar en atmano yogam vibhutim cha dayantana bhuya katya tipurhi vato nasti me mrityam. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Hanta te kata yi mayi divya hi atma na vibhulaya prad anayata guru Sesta Nasti Anto Vistarame Aham Atma Gud Akesha Sarva Bhuta Sanasita Aham Adischa Madhyancha Bhutan Anta Evacha.
Adityanamaham Vishnur Jyotisham Raviram Shuman Marichir Marutamasmi Nakshatranam Aham Shashi. So there's the shlokas. We can also read the translations as we have time. Bring up the translations. You guys want to take turns, or I can read them?
Prabhuji, I think we can take turns.
Sure. All right, I'll start. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Listen again. O mighty armed Arjuna, because you are my dear friend, for your benefit I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undiluted among men, is freed from all sins. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, nonviolence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone."
The seven great sages, and before them the four other great sages, and the Manus, progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mine engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me.
To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge and darkness, knowledge, the darkness born of ignorance. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the sages, such as Narada, Ashtita, Devala, and Vyasa, confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality."
Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency, O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of all gods, Lord of the universe. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. O Krishna, O supreme mystic, how shall I constantly think of you, and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O supreme personality of Godhead? O Janardana, again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satisfied in hearing about you. For the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I'll tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. I am the Supersoul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Of the lights, I am the radiant sun. And of the Maruts, I am Marichini. And among the stars, I am the moon.
Thank you, Manhar Vivan Parth. How about we look at a purport of one of these verses? How about Manhar? Choose a number between 1 and 21.
10.
Was that 10?
Yeah.
10. All right. 10 is our lucky number today. What a great verse as well. Let me pull it up. We can look at the purport and see if we have anything to absorb or extract from this. You want to read it? You can read the translation and the purport.
Okay. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. In this verse, the word buddhi yogam is very significant. We may remember that in the second chapter, the Lord instructing Arjuna said that he had spoken to him of many things and that he would instruct him in the way of buddhi yoga. Now, buddhi yoga is explained. Buddhi yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness. That is the highest intelligence. Buddhi means intelligence, and yoga means mystic activities or mystic elevation. When one tries to go back home, back to Godhead, and takes fully to Krishna consciousness and devotional service, his action is called Buddhi Yoga. In other words, Buddhi Yoga is the process by which one gets out of the entanglement of this material world. The ultimate goal of progress is Krishna. People do not know this, therefore the association of devotees and the bona fide spiritual master are important. One should know that the goal is Krishna, and when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively traversed, and the ultimate goal is achieved. When a person knows the goal of life but is addicted to the fruits of activities, he is acting in Karma Yoga. When he knows that the goal is Krishna but he takes pleasure in material speculations to understand Krishna, he is acting in Jnana Yoga. And when he knows the goal and seeks Krishna completely in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, he is acting in Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, which is the complete yoga. This complete yoga is the highest perfectional stage of life. A person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached to a spiritual organization, but if he is still not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. The qualification is that a person always engage himself in Krishna consciousness and with love and devotion render all kinds of services. He should perform some sort of work for Krishna, and that work should be with love. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress on the path of self-realization, but is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service, the Lord gives him a chance to make progress and ultimately attain to him.
Very nice. Any realization from that? Something learned or something liked?
My realization from this is that practicing yoga is very important, and having a bona fide spiritual master is very important so that you can progress in this Krishna conscious life.
That's true. Yeah.
I
And this
wanted
is,
to add something.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to add something to what Parth said. So whenever Parth talked about a bona fide spiritual master, what's really important about that is that that you really like trust the spiritual master to guide you, because the spiritual master is knows everything, and the spiritual master will always be right there next to you, helping you throughout your journey. And the spiritual master in the end is gonna guide you all the way to Krishna. So you should definitely respect and you should definitely be like really nice and respect that person whenever you find them in your life.
Yeah, that's an amazing outtake from that purport as well. And this both of what you said, what that constitutes the component, which is our putting effort into this endeavor, which is making progress in spiritual life as well as just life in general. We have to make our effort, otherwise we can't expect results, right? And the point of this purport is that even though we may put all our effort in, sometimes, we might not achieve what we want. And that's when, of course, this is if this is an endeavor hoping to please Krishna or in some other way benefit uh, your life or devotees, then Krishna will step in and lend a helping hand because he can see your sincere and total 110% effort. Then he'll help. So that's the whole point of this verse and this purport. So thank you very much for also shining light on the point of, making your own effort, which is using your intelligence and also seeking a spiritual master, because yeah, as it says everywhere in the Bhagavad Gita, that you need to seek out a uh, spiritual master. You can't hope to achieve otherwise. Manhar, I think you had your hand raised as well.
I basically wanted to say the same thing, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a really good, very popular verse as well, a very important verse. So definitely this is, I don't know if you were, had some really great plan unfolding in this naming verse 10, but either way, this was really good. I'm happy we chose this verse to read. So that's that. Then we can move on to our next part of the program. We'll read some Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. Last week was Janmashtami on Saturday, and on Sunday was Srila Prabhupada's appearance day. He appeared the day after Janmashtami. And of course, we know Prabhupada came to the West and established so many temples. He established the Krishna consciousness movement everywhere. So, especially in the time surrounding these festivals as well as his own appearance day, it's always a good thing to recognize and appreciate the work and the service that he's done for the benefit of the entire world. So I'll pull it up again and we can get started on reading from where we left off before. Here it is. Since we have a small group, we'll read about 4 paragraphs if they're big enough. Otherwise, there's a lot of these little lines, then you could just make your own judgment about that. But about 4 paragraphs worth of reading. I'll get started and we can all take turns reading. But Bhaktivedanta Swami was fixed on going. He told Mr. Chokshi that he should convince Mrs. Morarji. He coached Mr. Chokshi on what he should say. I find this gentleman very inspired to go to the States and preach something to the people there. But when he told Mrs. Morarji, she again said no. The Swami was not healthy. It would be too cold there. He might not be able to come back, and she doubted whether he would be able to accomplish much there. People in America were not so cooperative, and they would probably not listen to him. Exasperated with Mr. Chokshi's ineffectiveness, Bhaktivedanta Swami demanded a personal interview. It was granted, and a gray-haired, determined Bhaktivedanta Swami presented his emphatic request. Please give me one ticket. Sumati Morarji was concerned. Swamiji, you're so old, you are taking this responsibility. Do you think it is all right? No, he reassured her, lifting his hand as if to reassure a doubting daughter. It is all right. But do you know what my secretaries think? They say Swamiji is going to die there. Bhaktivedanta made a face as if to dismiss a foolish rumor. Again, he insisted that she give him a ticket. All right, she said, get your P form, and I will make an arrangement to send you by our ship. Bhaktivedanta Swami smiled brilliantly and happily left her offices, past her amazed and skeptical clerks. A P form, another necessity for an Indian national who wants to leave the country, is a certificate given by the State Bank of India, certifying that the person has no excessive debts in India and is cleared by the banks. That would take a while to obtain, and he also did not yet have a US visa. He needed to pursue these government permissions in Bombay, but he had no place to stay. So Mrs. Morarji agreed to let him reside at the Scindia colony, a compound of apartments for employees of the Scindia company. He stayed in a small, unfurnished apartment with only his trunk and typewriter. The resident Scindia employees all knew that Mrs. Morarji was sending him to the West, and some of them became interested in his cause. They were impressed, for although he was so old, he was going abroad to preach. He was a special sadhu, a scholar. They heard from him how he was taking hundreds of copies of his books with him, but no money. He became a celebrity at the Scindia colony. Various families brought him rice, sabji, and fruit. They brought so much that he could not eat it all, and he mentioned this to Mr. Choksi. Just accept it and distribute it, Mr. Choksi advised. Bhaktivedanta Swami then began giving remnants of his food to the children. Some of the older residents gathered to hear him as he read and spoke from Srimad Bhagavatam. Mr. Vasavada, the chief cashier of Scindia, was particularly impressed and came regularly to learn from the sadhu. Mr. Vasavada obtained copies of Bhaktivedanta Swami's books and read them in his own. Would anyone like to continue reading?
I can continue.
All right, go ahead.
Bhaktivedanta Swami's apartment shared a roofed-in veranda with Mr. Nangarajan, a Scindia office worker, and his wife, Mrs. Nagarajan. Every time when I passed that way, he used to be writing or chanting. I would ask him, Swamiji, what are you writing? He used to sit near the window, and one after another he was translating the Sanskrit. He gave me 2 books and said, Child, if you read this book, you will understand. We would have discourses in the house, and 4 or 5 Gujarati ladies used to come. At once, at one of these discourses, he told one lady that those who wear their hair parted on the side, that is not a good idea. Every Indian lady should have her hair parted in the center. They were very fond of listening and very keen to hear his discourse. Every day he would go out trying to get his visa and P form as quickly as possible, selling his books and seeking contacts and supporters for his future Srimad Bhagavatam publishing. Mr. Nagarajan tried to help. Using the telephone directory, he made a list of wealthy business and professional men who were Vaishnavas and might be inclined to assist. Bhaktivedanta Swami's neighbors at Scindia colony observed him coming home dead tired in the evening. He would sit quietly, perhaps feeling morose, and some neighbors thought, but after a while he would sit up rejuvenated and start writing. Mrs. Nagarajan. When he came home, we used to give him courage and we used to tell him, Swamiji, one day you will achieve your target. He would say, time is still not right. Time is still not right. They are all ajnanis. They don't understand. But still, I must carry on. Sometimes I would go by and his chadar would be on the chair, but he would be sitting on the windowsill. I would ask him, Swamiji, did you have any good contacts? He would say, not much today. I didn't get much, and it's depressing. Tomorrow, Krishna will give me more details, and he would sit there quietly. After 10 minutes, he would sit in his chair and start writing. I would wonder how Swamiji was so tired in 1 minute, and in another minute, even if he was tired, he was not defeated. He would never speak discouragement, and we would always encourage him and say, if today you don't get it, tomorrow you will definitely meet some people and they will encourage you. And my friends used to come in the morning and in the evening for discourse, and they would give namaskara and fruits. Mr. Nagarajan. His temperament was very adjustable and homely. Our friends would offer a few rupees. He would say, all right, it will help. He used to walk from our colony to the Andheri station. It was it is 2 kilometers, and he used to go there without taking a bus because he had no money. Bhaktivedanta Swami had a page entitled My Mission, and he would show it to influential men in his attempts to get further financing for Srimad Bhagavatam. The printed statement proposed that God consciousness was the only remedy for the evil of modern materialistic society. Despite scientific advancement and material comforts, there was no peace in the world. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the glory of India, must be spread all over the world. Mrs. Morarji asked Bhaktivedanta Swami if he would read Srimad Bhagavatam to her in the evening. He agreed. She began sending her car for him at 6 o'clock each evening, and they would sit in her garden where he would recite and comment on the Bhagavatam. Mrs. Morarji. He used to come in the evening and sing the verses in rhythmic tunes, and it is usually done with the Bhagavatam, as is usually done with the Bhagavatam. And certain points, when you sit and discuss, you raise so many points. He was commenting on certain points, but it was all from the Bhagavatam. So he used to sit and explain to me and then go. He could give time and I could hear him. That was for about 10 or 15 days.
His backing by Sir Scindia and his sponsorship in the US were a strong presentation. And with the help of people at Scindia, he obtained his visa on July 28th, 1965. But the P form proceedings were slowly and even threatened to be a last insurmountable obstacle. Srila Prabhupada. Formerly, there was no restriction for going outside. But for a sannyasi like me, I had so much difficulty obtaining the government permission to go out. I had applied for the P form sanction, but the sanction was coming. But no sanction was coming. Then I went back. When I went to the State Bank of India, the officer was Mr. Martar Chari. He told me, Swamiji, you are sponsored by a private man, so we cannot accept. If you're invited by some institution, then we could consider. But you are invited by a private man for 1 month, and after 1 month, if you are in difficulty, there will be so many obstacles. I had already prepared everything to go. So I said, what have you done? He said, I have decided not to sanction a P firm. I said, no, don't do this. You better send me to your superior. It should not be done like that. So he took my request and he sent the file to the chief officious, I cannot see, official of the foreign exchange, something like that. So he was the supreme man in the State Bank of India. I went to see him. I asked the secretary, do you have such and such a file? You kindly put it to Mr. Rao. I want to see him. So the secretary agreed, and he put the file and he put my name down to see See him. I was waiting. So Mr. Rao came personally. He said, Swamiji, I passed your case. Don't worry. Following Miss Morali's instructions, her secretary, Mr. Cho C, made final agreements for Bhaktivedanta Swami. Since he had no warm clothes, Mr. Choksi took him to buy a wool jacket and other woolen clothes. Mr. Choksi spent about 250 rupees on new clothes, including some new dhotis. At Bhaktivedanta Swami's request, Mr. Chauti printed 500 copies of a small pamphlet containing the 8 verses written by Lord Chaitanya and an advertisement for Srimad Bhagavatam. in the contents of an advertisement for the Skindia Steamship Company.
Mr. Choksi, I asked him, why couldn't you go earlier? Why do you want to go now to the States at this age? He replied that I will be able to do something good, I am sure. His idea was that someone should be there who would be able to go near people who are lost in life and teach them and tell them what the correct thing is. I asked him so many times, why do you want to go to the States? Why don't you start something in Bombay or Delhi or Vrindavan? I was teasing him also. You are interested in seeing the States, therefore you want to go. All Swamijis want to go to the States, and you want to enjoy there. He said, what I have got to see, I have finished my life. But sometimes he was hot-tempered. He used to get angry at me for the delays. What is this nonsense, he would say. Then I would understand, he's getting angry now. Sometimes he would say, oh, Mrs. Morarji has still not signed this paper. She says, come back tomorrow, we will talk tomorrow. What is this? Why this daily going back? He would get angry. Then I would say, you can sit here. But he would say, how long do I have to sit? He would become impatient. Finally, Mrs. Morarji scheduled a place for him on one of her ships, the Jaladuta, which was sailing from Calcutta on August 13th. She'd made certain that he would travel on a ship whose captain understood the needs of a vegetarian and a brahmana. Mrs. Morarji told the Jaladuta's captain, Arun Pandya, to carry extra vegetables and fruits for the Swami. Mr. Choksi spent the last 2 days with Bhaktivedanta Swami in Bombay, picking up the pamphlets at the press, purchasing clothes, and driving him to the station to catch the train for Calcutta. He arrived in Calcutta about 2 weeks before the Jaladuta's departure. Although he had lived much of his life in the city, he now had nowhere to stay. It was as he had written in his Vrindavana bhajan. I have my wife, sons, daughters, grandsons, everything, but I have no money, so they are fruitless glory. Although in this city he had been so carefully nurtured as a child, those early days were also gone forever. Where have my loving father and mother gone to now? And where are all my elders, who are my own folk? Who will give me news of them? Tell me who. All that is left of this family life is a list of names. Out of the hundreds of people in Calcutta who Bhaktivedanta Swami knew, he chose to call on Mr. Sishir Bhattacharya, the flamboyant kirtan singer he had met a year before at the governor's house in Lucknow. Mr. Bhattacharya was not a relative, not a disciple, nor even a close friend, but he was willing to help. Bhaktivedanta Swami called at his place and informed him that he would be leaving on a cargo ship in a few days. He needed a place to stay and he would like to give some lectures. Mr. Bhattacharya immediately began to arrange a few private meetings at friends' homes where he would sing and Bhaktivedanta Swami would then speak. Mr. Bhattacharya thought that sadhus leaving for America should make an important news story. He accompanied Bhaktivedanta Swami to all the newspapers in Calcutta, the Hindustan Standard, the Amrita Bazar Patrika, the Jugantas, the Statesman, and others. Bhaktivedanta Swami had only one photograph, a passport photo, and they made a few copies for the newspapers. Mr. Bhattacharya would try to explain what the Swami was going to do, and the news writers would listen, but none of them wrote anything. Finally, they visited the Dainik Basumati, a local Bengali daily, which agreed to print a small article with Bhaktivedanta Swami's picture. A week before his departure on August 6th, Bhaktivedanta Swami traveled to nearby Mayapur to visit the Samadhi of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Then he returned to Calcutta, where Mr. Bhattacharya continued to assist him with his final business and speaking engagements. Would anyone else like to continue reading?
I can continue.
Sure. Thank you.
Mr. Bhattacharya, we just took a hired taxi to this place and that place, and he would go for preaching. I never talked to him during the preaching, but once when I was coming back from the preaching, I said, you said this thing about this, but I tell you, it is not this, it is this. I crossed him in something or argued, and he was furious. Whenever we argued, and I said, no, I think it's this, but Then he was shouting. He was very furious. He said, "You're always saying, I think, I think, I think. What is the importance of what you think? Everything is what you think. But it doesn't matter. It matters what the Shastra says. You must follow," I said. "I must do what I think, what I feel. That is important. That is important." He said, "No, you should forget about this. You should forget your desire. You should change your habits. Better you depend on the Shastras. You follow what Shastra wants you to do, and you do it. I'm not telling you what I think, but I'm repeating what the Shastra says." As the day of his departure approached, Bhaktivedanta Swami took stock of his meager possessions. He had only a suitcase, an umbrella, and a supply of dry cereal. He did not know what he would find to eat in America. Perhaps there would only be meat. If so, he was prepared to live on boiled potatoes and cereal. His main baggage, several trunks of his books, were being handled separately by Scindia Cargo. 203-volume sets. The very thought of the books gave him confidence. When the day came for him to leave, he needed that confidence. He was making a momentous break with his previous life, and he was dangerously old and not in strong health. And he was going to an unknown and probably unwelcoming country. To be poor and unknown in India was one thing. Even in these Kali Yuga days, when India's leaders were rejecting Vedic culture and imitating the West, it was still in India. It was still the remains of Vedic civilization. He'd been able to see the millionaires, governors, the prime minister simply by showing up at their doors and waiting. A sannyasi was respected. The Srimad Bhagavatam was respected. But in America, it would be totally different. He would be no one, a foreigner, and there would be no tradition of sadhus, no temples, no free ashrams. But when he thought of the books he was bringing, transcendental knowledge in English, he became very confident. When he met someone in America, he would give him a flyer, Srimad Bhagavatam, India's message of peace and goodwill. It was August 13th, just a few days before Janmashtami, the appearance anniversary of Lord Krishna. The next would be his own 69th birthday. During these last years, he had been in Vrindavan for Janmashtami. Many Vrindavan residents would never leave there. They were old and at peace in Vrindavan. Bhaktivedanta Swami was also concerned that he might die away from Vrindavan. That was why all Vaishnava sadhus and widows had taken vows not to leave, even for Mathura, because to die in Vrindavan was the perfection of life. And the Hindu tradition was that a sannyasi should not cross the ocean and go to the land of the Mlechas. But beyond all that was the desire of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, and his desire was non-different from that of Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had predicted that the chanting of Hare Krishna would be known in every town and village of the world. Bhaktivedanta Swami took a taxi down to the Calcutta port. A few friends and admirers, along with his son Vrindavan, accompanied him. He writes in his diary, "Today at 9 a.m., embarked on the MV Jaladuta. Come with me, Bhagavati, the Dwarvan of Scindia Sansir, Mr. Sen Gupta, Mr. Ali, and Vrindavan." He was carrying a Bengali copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita, which he intended to read during the crossing. Somehow he would not be able to cook on board, or if not, he could starve. Whatever Krishna desired. Somehow he would be able to cook on board, or if not, he could starve. Whatever Krishna desired. He checked his essentials: passenger ticket, passport, visa, P form, sponsor's address. Finally, it was happening. Srila Prabhupada, with great difficulty, I got out of the country. Some way or other, by Krishna's grace, I got out so I could spread the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Otherwise, to remain in India, it was just not possible. I wanted to start a movement in India, but I was not at all encouraged. The black cargo ship, small and weathered, was moored at a dockside, a gangway leading from the dock to the ship's deck. Indian merchant sailors curiously eyed the elderly saffron-dressed sadhu as he spoke his last words to his companions and then left them as he walked determinedly towards the boat. For thousands of years, Krishna Bhakti had only been known in India. not outside, except in twisted, faithless reports by the foreigners. And the only Swamis to have reached America had been non-devotees, Mayavadi impersonalists. But now Krishna was sending Bhaktivedanta Swami as his emissary.
Thank you so much, Vivan and Parth, for reading. And yeah, we're done with yet another chapter of the Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, which was really amazing. And this is a pivotal moment in his journey, in the whole story of his life, which is him starting from Srila Prabhupada starting from Calcutta on that boat to America. So, and this we can see was August around this time, 1965. So pretty rough time for him. Since we have about 10 more minutes, we can probably take some time to either reflect on the program today, what you liked, what you learned, anything like that, or just in general, how was your Janmashtami last week? I know a lot of people had different programs at their temples. Eager to hear how it went. Manhar, how did it go in Columbus?
In Columbus, we had like a bunch of stalls in the ISKCON temple, and then there was like a stage, and there was a lot of performances going on. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh, that was exciting, huh?
Yeah.
Vivan?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
So I
Krishna.
just had a reflection about the reading, the Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita reading today. What really inspires me about Srila Prabhupada is how he was really ready to just leave everything, all he knew in India. Like he's never been outside the country of India before, and the first time that he leaves is at the age of 69. He boards a cargo ship to leave to the US. And the only reason why he does it is because his spiritual master had a desire that you will go to the West and you'll preach. And that really inspires me because just because we were just reading today in the 10th verse that it's really important to respect your bona fide spiritual master. And what really inspires me about Srila Prabhupada is that Srila Prabhupada taking that one letter that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati sent to him, like from so far, like in a letter, he expressed his desire. And what really inspires me is that Srila Prabhupada, at the age of 69, he boards a cargo ship, and at the first time in his life, he decides to go to America to preach, just because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that, oh, I really want this movement to be spread in the West also.
Yeah, perfectly summed up. Very well said.
I
Great
also have
connection.
some.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So at our Bhakti Vriksha, we did this program for Krishna Chatti, the sixth day of Krishna's life. So what we had was we had a kirtan, then we cut the cake, then we had a class about Krishna, how he's in the jail cell, and why did he have, like, we read the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and then we cut the cake for Krishna. And in the 10th canto, it was talking about why Krishna gave so many different things to tell Kamsa, okay, here, if you stop this demoniac habit, yeah, Vasudev. So then, yeah, so then, like, also how the pastime just quickens up because everybody wants to know when Krishna comes into the photo. So the when Narad Muni basically tries to poke Kamsa, telling him that, oh, any son or daughter from Devaki and Vasudev could be a demigod, could be Krishna, and then the pastime just quickens up from there, and then it goes till we get to Krishna being born, taken across the Yamuna to Vrindavan. And yeah, that's the program that we did.
Very nice. This was earlier this week after Janmashtami.
This was at our Bhakti Vriksha yesterday.
Oh, cool. That sounds fun. Yeah, great narration of the story as well, because we also had at our temple in Laguna Beach, we had a drama on the day of Janmashtami for our program, and the entire story was leading up to the birth of Krishna at midnight, obviously, and we could see the one thing I mean, we read these stories so many times, but in playing out this drama, I noticed how Kamsa was, as you said, provoked by Narad Muni for the obviously it seems that if Narad Muni hadn't done that, maybe Krishna wouldn't have had to, obviously the prophecy said that, but Kamsa maybe wouldn't have had to kill the rest of the babies that Devaki and Vasudeva had. But it was all for the sake of Krishna appearing and playing out his pastimes. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's why also I liked about the pastime, like how it just quickens up until Krishna's born, where many other things can happen, but it's just like the pastime, how it is.
Yeah, it's for the Leela. And I also like, yeah, Vivan, what you said earlier, the connection to the purport we read from the beginning of the program, the fact that you have to seek out and, of course, respect and serve your spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada was one of the best examples of that. He took it with his entire life as such an old age. He came to America. He left the country that he spent his whole life in just for the sake of pleasing his spiritual master and spreading the Krishna consciousness movement. So we can see how important it was for him and how effective and successful it made him. We could see everything in Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, his journey afterward, how it was recorded. Saki Brinda, how are you? Are you there?
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. How was your Janmashtami?
Here in Sacramento, it was actually really nice. We had our program until 12, and we got to do Julian Yatra, and we got to do Abhishek to the deities as well.
Very nice. Maya, how about you? Can't hear you if you're talking, Maya. Anyway, last week was Janmashtami as well as the day after was Prabhupada's appearance day. Does anyone know what's happening next week?
Radhashtami.
That's right. And it's all within August. It's very rare that we have Balaram Purnima, Janmashtami, and Radhashtami all in the same month. So
For,
this is
for Radhashtami, we're gonna have a flower festival at Kalachandji's.
wow. You're looking forward to that?
Yep. It's gonna be fun, I think.
Mhm. Sounds really exciting. Well, yeah. Next week we'll probably have Radhashtami themed program. So please make sure to tune in or join live. And since it's almost time for us to go our separate ways in this program, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And this was a really sweet, nice, and small program that we had. So I'm glad to have spent an hour. What did we do? We read the Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, read a really nice purport, and we read Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, and we reflected on our Janmashtami and the readings that we did. So everyone, please remember to keep the transcendental vibration going, as Maharaj always says. Vaisheshik Maharaj is out of town. He's in Toronto this week. So hopefully he might be back next week. If so, we'll all see you at 3 p.m. PST, 6 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna.
Haribol.